All right, welcome to the YouTube channel. This is the Comrade, and I get lots of kind of questions on Twitter and on my blogs about my various baseball dynasties I set up out of the Park Baseball 19. And one of the confusing things about out of the Park Baseball 19 is it is kind of tough to set things up if you're brand new to the game. I've been playing out of the park baseball since like out of the park baseball 5. So to me, it's just kind of second nature. And I talked to a friend who was into this game or was interested in the game, and he kind of got thrown off by the fact that he just felt lost. So this is kind of how I do my leagues, and I'm gonna set a league up that I'm gonna run on my other blog, retrobaseball.net, and you can go there and check it out. Also, you can grab some modifications as well, or the peskypole.net, both places. But I'm going to start a league for 1939, okay, and how I set things up. So we go to this league creation wizard right here, and we're going to create a historical league. That's the first thing we'll do. And we're going to go down here and find, I'm going to do 1939, and pull it up here. And we're going to do career play. Single season replay, if I wanted to do a season replay, if you're doing just one season and everything, you do that. I'm doing career play. And here's the important thing here. If you import the complete history up to 1939, that means guys like Babe Ruth are retired and their career is in the books. If you uncheck this box, the baseball world starts in 1939. Now, the players in the league have stats up to that point, but anyone who retired before 1939 doesn't exist. And you would do that if you were planning on bringing back players from the past or doing a random debut type of thing where you can have it set where your 1940 draft could include guys like Babe Ruth to guys like Mike Trout. You can do it that way. So it's kind of a thing you can set up that way. So I'm going to do mine complete history because I'm going to kind of keep it chronological. Yeah, say that again and do that. Import real minor leagues. This is important too if you want to get the actual minor league players who haven't debuted yet, 1939, to be in the minor league system. So I'm going to click that as well and do that. And so hit next step. And this will take a while to go about doing this for you. So there's lots of ways to play this game. It's what makes it so great. It also is what makes it frustrating for a guy like me who has ADD when it comes to baseball. I'm always wanting to try new things, or should I try this and that and this, and I'm always kind of doing all kinds of things. So there's all kinds of ways you can play it. I'm going to play this one pretty straight down the line. We're going to start in 1939, and we're going to progress just like real baseball history in terms of the players who become available. I'm going to change things up though with the finances in terms of free agency and things like that, and the draft as well. Because if you don't know this, the Major League Baseball draft didn't start happening until the 1960s, and of course free agency didn't begin until 1970s. So I'm going to change up a little things like that. But that's one thing. So they're going to import the players. Excuse me. As this goes through. So definitely check out the peskypole.net. Check out retrobaseball.net. You can go ahead and download all the uniforms you're going to see. And you'll see that all the uniforms and the classic jerseys I have in this game will come up automatically for me because I have it in my file. So if you don't have those things, it really makes the game that much better. The game is great without any of the logos and all that stuff, but with it, it's really good. Also, the face gens, you'll see the face gen pictures of these players. You'll see, you know, Ted Williams, and you'll see Bob Feller looking like the real guys in here as well. Those are all things you can download as well. So keep that in mind as we import this through. All right, I went ahead and paused it so I can kind of get through the whole loading phase. So here's the next screen we're on right now. I asked you about real historical transactions and real historical lineups. Do this if you were playing a replay season. We're doing career play, so we're not going to do that. But if you're playing a replay season, it's really important, I mean, at least when I do it, to use the real historical transactions because they'll make the trades for you that happen in real life. We're not doing that. Full minor league rosters, I'm not going to do that either, just because that can cause some issues too with the system. So I'll leave that down there. So next step we'll go to. So here's a couple of things I'm going to ask you. So I'm trying to recreate history a little bit, and there'll be some alternatives to it. And so you can recalculate a player's rating for each season using real stats. And what that does is, you know, it makes it kind of play out like history did. The problem with that is, excuse me, is that if you're playing the game, you know how the career of, say, Ted Williams will play out, because you know how it's going to happen. And so if he has a couple of bad years on here, gets injured a lot in these first two seasons, you know that in 1941 he'll have a great year if he stays healthy and so forth. And so the problem with that is the AI does not know that they're going off of the ratings. So you know, you can play it that way, but I'm going to go ahead and use this option here of use talent ratings and the OOTP development engine to give some randomness in there too. I mean, Ted Williams could become a Hall of Famer, or he could become a guy who, you know, doesn't quite get it done. So I'll up and expand league, hold expansion draft. Okay, I'm at 1939 right now. I don't have to worry about that for another, what, 21 years or so. So eventually I'm going to keep it like that and do that. Financial settings too, I'm going to import them, which means that every year the finances will go with the time. So I'm going to keep that as well. So next step we'll do on that. This is called scouting accuracy too. So some people like to play kind of like in Fog of War, where they turn the ratings off so you can't see them and play by stats. I've done that a few times. It's really cool. I would suggest trying that sometimes. And you can do that simply by putting down here none displayed. Okay. And the potential ratings too, you can go none displayed too. All these numbers are how you want them rated. The 20 to 80 is how real Major League Baseball scouts use to rate guys. So I tend to keep it like that, and I'm going to keep all the ratings on there as well for this one too. But I've done all this stuff before. I've done none displayed. I've done where potential was just displayed, which is pretty cool. So you have this turned off, what they actually are, and then keep potential on, and so you can see if they're, you know, reaching their potential. Their stats may be horrible, but the potential could be an 80 for power. Yet they're not hitting that, right? And you still have to wonder, will they ever reach their potential, or, you know? So it's cool to play that way too. So I'm gonna play with ratings on and do it that way. Okay. Fictional Pictures, I'm going to go ahead and say yes because I've got the face gen all loaded up here, which looks unreal. Once again, if you want to get that face gen file, go to peskypole.net or retrobaseball.net to get those free of charge. And I didn't make them. There's these unbelievable guys on the out of the park baseball community boards who do unbelievable work. They made them, so an ode to them. I'm keeping them on my blog so people can play the game that way. All right, so we're getting close to setting things up here. So new game, I'm going to label this MLB 1939. You can label anything you want to and do that. Commissioner mode, what that means is you can see all the ratings. You can kind of change things up. I do this if I'm going to go ahead and like realign the standings. Say if I wanted to make it where I'm going to have two divisions in the American League and make an AL East and AL West back in that 39. I'd go in commissioner mode to do so. I'm not going to do that though. Cannot be fired. Just simply what it states. If you leave it unchecked, you can be fired if you have a bad season, a bad few seasons. Okay, so I play. I got a couple of dynasties going now where I am can be fired if I don't do well. This one here, I'm not going to be. I'm going to run the Boston Red Sox for the end of time, and so so I'm gonna keep that job, not to worry about that. So do that. So those are the teams right here in that 39. You get the Boston Bees, Brooklyn Dodgers, the whole thing there. So we're gonna start the game up. This will load up. This hopefully shouldn't take too long. But as I said before, you can play this game in all kinds of ways. And so this is kind of the first part. It takes a while to set things up. I kind of like doing this. I like setting up a new league, a new dynasty. I probably do this more than anything else in the game. So I like this. Some people hate this, okay? Um, and these are people that don't play lots of different dynasties. I play lots of different dynasties, lots of different scenario things I play out. So I'm always kind of come with new things in my file. So so this is kind of going in there. I'm going to go ahead and pause while this kind of loads up here. But it does take a long time, just so you know. The recording's going to show that. I'm going to hit pause in between here. I'm going to pause the recording now and come back to you when this is loaded up, okay? All right, so we're back. I had to pause that for a while because it took a while to kind of go and load that up. So keep that in mind when you're starting a new game like this. It takes a while to set things up. So personal message, okay. That's my name, Dobreski, hired in Boston. And those are kind of owner goals there too. And I'm going to show you in a second. I'm gonna probably turn those off just because I'm not playing in the they can fire me mode, so I really don't want to care what the owner says, to be honest with you. I'm playing in another league where I can get fired, so I do have the owner goals and have to follow the owner and play it that way, but I'm not doing that this way. So here it is right here. So now I go ahead and set this up the way I want things set up right here. I go to League Settings, and I start up here with global settings. Can I go through them all? So global setting wise, do I want a scouting system? I always use complete scouting system. These are all personal preferences. Monthly, I get monthly scouting report updates from my players. Once again, you can do what you want on that. I like to keep all the reports. I'm a info junkie. I don't want to delete. I want to keep all the reports. Okay, and you can change this up too as your files get too big. Rating scale. I got 20 to 80. We already set this up before. It's up this way. You got the star rating. I don't like using stars on here. I just feel it's kind of a way to, I don't know, it's just too, I like to kind of dive into the numbers for me personally, but that's a personal preference. So ratings max, okay, they can go over the ratings. I do a cutoff and adjust. Coaching system, yes. Enable owner goals. I'm going to uncheck that because I don't want the owner, I don't care what he says. He's not firing me anyway, so no goals there. These are all things I do from the replays they hold on to. I always pick all major leagues. This I can go back and watch the highlights of certain games I wanted to, and not just my games. So I do all major leagues here. News log, I take all. And then once again, personal preference here on this. This won't affect your game. It's all personal preference. Prospects list. I like doing dynamic. Dynamic means it can change from week to week or month to month of who your top prospects is. Annually means that once a year they give you the top prospects. That's how it is. Once again, not a huge difference. It's just kind of basically your personal preference. Injuries. I go ahead and put normal here. I like to hide injury rating. I like to kind of figure that out based on how often they've been injured. I mean, people, players don't have an injury rating in real life. You just kind of look at their record and see, okay, they've only had 140 at bats, the last, whatever. last 3 years, and you know they're injury prone. Same with pitchers, so I don't do that. Average there, suspensions, I keep suspensions on. I don't like to see the nicknames on there, just a personal preference once again. Also, I keep all their stats, being honest, their minor league stats as well. Once again, personal preference, not a big deal. Okay, this is all here with their aging and talent change randomness. This is kind of the default set. I keep it there. You can play along with that too and see if you know how you want to do that. AI settings, okay? Trade difficulty. I always put this as very hard. I like to make this tough for myself. And I like to favor prospects because in real life, people favor prospects when making trades. Line up traditional or sabermetric. I keep it traditional for now. We're playing that 39. I can change that as we go along. Archive. I like to archive the annual on there. Online league. We're not playing online, so I don't have to worry about this. League settings. Okay, so now we're getting league settings. This here, I don't do anything with this unless I'm changing the league up, which I'm not, so I'm not worried about that. League and teams. There's our league and teams. You can change if you wanted to. Okay, I'm not doing that, but you can change them out. There's all the teams there. The rules going through here. No DH. I can go ahead and make a DH in 1939 if I wanted to. Not going to do it though. Going to keep that at the DH. Trading, yes. The trade deadline. Okay, the 10-5 rule for veterans. Okay, that can do that stuff. I tend to put my trading at low. I don't like a lot of trades in my league. And I found that average trades, it seems like a lot of trades happen more than in real life, but I'm told this doesn't happen, but I like to keep it low. It's personal preference again. All right, so amateur draft. I want to do a draft, okay? In real life, in 1939, there was no draft, okay? They basically signed kids out of high school as free agents, and the best teams, the richest teams, get the best players. Hence, New York Yankees had all those dynasties. So we're going to have a draft, though. We're going to level the playing field a little bit and do that. So we'll do that. Predefined draft value for AI. That just kind of gives you an idea of the AI kind of selects guys. They do a better job actually selecting guys in terms of draft value. I'm going to check that for this league. Usually I don't, but this league I'm going to. And then it always has a ton of number of rounds. I don't know why they do this. I always put them at 30 rounds and so forth. And I'm going to make the draft in June, like in real life, and do that. So that's all set there. Financials. Okay, so in 1939, you had a reserve system. You didn't have free agency. Okay, so down here, the reserve clause era rules. So we're going to change things up a little bit and kind of grant free agency to people when they come up. There we go. We did that. And over here, compensation for lost free agents, okay, which is like how real baseball is now. And so we're going to keep that kind of like that. I'm going to have entire revenue available to me and do it that way. You can kind of change what the owner decides over the budget. I'm going to do revenue, entire revenue available for this one here. And that kind of is the salaries here, and that's 39. So that will change as the years go on. Options, we're going to here. Cy Young Award, Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Year. I changed this up. They can't use Silver Slugger Award because it's trademarked, but you can change it here. And same thing with the Gold Glove. They have a Great Glove. That's for legal reasons, but we're going to change it and do that. And you can actually go ahead and disable awards too. We'll keep them all up there. Manual Hall of Fame voting, AL Hall of Fame voting. Let's keep it. I'll keep those two checked too. Hall of Fame time. We'll get to that as too. Schedule allow rainouts. We'll do rainouts. I don't like spring training. When I'm starting a league, I usually put that in after the season's over though for the next year. But usually when I'm starting a league up, I skip spring training. I want to get to the season, so I say no there. Playoffs, okay. It's one round, so World Series, best of 7. We've got that. Okay, good. Go to players, okay. Now, It's pretty cool here. If you want to go ahead and generate international amateur free agents, you can. These are fictional guys that you can have come up and do things like that. So I'm not sure if I want to. I usually do this a lot of times. I'm not sure if I want to do it now. I might. Let's go ahead and do. Let's go ahead and do it. We'll have a little fictional guys enter our world. Why not? Let's do that. Okay, so we'll do that. This is kind of how they're brought in. Historical. We're going through here, so we're going to go ahead and hold an expansion draft when we get to it. I mean, and I'm going to do 25 players. Like I did in real life and all the expansions. You can hold on, protect 25 players per team, auto protect guys with 3 years of the pro service. So you can do that for the expansion. Once again, that's not going to happen for 21 more years. So, all right, automatically adjust league strategy when advancing next season. Yes. Port financial settings each year, so each year the money will go up for players. Retire players according to history. You can do that, but I like I'm replaying this Dynasty for some changes. So I really don't want to be exactly like it was in real life, and so we're going to say that no. So not only important historical rookies, yes, and of course this is where they get them from. If you want to use random rookies from all eras, you can uncheck that and check this one here. Okay. And to give yourself, I think it's years to do that. I've done leagues like that. They're pretty fun. But we're going to stick to what we stick to here. Okay. Keep it pretty chronological. Base ratings on real stats. Okay. Peaks in the career. Okay. So we're going to keep it like that with their numbers. Stats and AI. This is pretty good. They default a 5-man rotation. We all know that back then it was a 4-man rotation. That's what they do that for. Start the highest rested. Back then they did that. Allow starters in relief. No. I think they allowed starters in relief sometimes too. I'm going to put yes on here. Because some teams back then did do that. So I'm not sure here. Then down here are all the things you can set things up, how these are. In terms of closers, very rarely back then. Pitcher standards high. Pinch hit for pitchers rarely. Okay. Infield shifts rarely back then. And that will change as you go through the years. I've got it set up where each strategy changes as you go through. Okay, so basically at that point, my game is set ready to go. I'm going to hit save on here, make sure it saves and does that. And as you can see, my Red Sox team looks pretty good over here. Let's take a look at them with their uniforms and so forth. Going out of here, let's go check out Jimmy Fox. He's looking pretty sharp. There's Jimmy. Okay, number 3. Okay, so he's in there, and he's a free agent this year, so that's a big deal right there. Hopefully, we can sign him. So that's kind of how that works on there. So that's how I set things up for my version of this. So if you want to follow along with how this plays out, check out my blog, retrobaseball.net. There's nothing on there right now. I haven't started the season up right now. And I'm going to go ahead and post reports in this season, how things go, and so forth. So check that out. You can also get the modifications there. So you can get these great jerseys and great uniforms and great faces at retrobaseball.net or thepeskypole.net. So check it out. So hopefully this helps everybody and what they're doing. And enjoy the game more. It's the best game ever created. It really is. Out of the park baseball. Tremendous job. I can't, tell you enough. I mean, full disclosure, they do send me a free copy of the game the past 6 years or so now, because I've done a lot of work, with them in terms of promoting them. But I do it because it's a great game, not because I get free games. I mean, that's a great perk I have. But it's a really great game. Great customer service, the whole deal. It's unreal. So enjoy it. Hopefully this helped you. If you have any questions, you can tweet me at the Pesky Pole, and I'll get back at you there too, so I can help you out get your set up and You can tweet me at the pesky poll. If you have any questions or any suggestions about my dynasties, and let me know what you're building too. If you have some cool dynasties you're building or stuff with the Red Sox or Braves and Willie Mays and the Giants, things like that interest me too. So definitely interact with me and let me know how you're doing. All right. Enjoy playing out of the park baseball. Bye.